Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Johnny's Life and Travel. Just wanna quickly apologize to you guys because I forgot to do a video yesterday. Been so busy. But I'm just gonna once again cover AMD for this week, and just to give you some information that you may not be aware of. Now I know a lot of people may have covered this as well. I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably watch other videos as well that other people do. But I just want to go out and just give you some pieces of information that I have that others may not have. So just a quick assessment of the week. Firstly, we've been on an up week, and that's largely, I think, due to Nvidia's positive earnings. They had good earnings. Not really, they didn't really beat the market by a huge amount. But the one thing that they did do, which was really good, was that they bought back a lot of shares, so they're going to buy back a lot of shares. That's what they said, and on top of that, they gave a lot of money back to shareholders. So I think the EPS was meant to be 66 cents, so earnings per share was meant to be 66 cents, and it was really, I mean, that was the estimate, and it went up to I think 77 or 79, something like that cents. So it was really good on that side. So basically, they gave a lot back to the investors, and that's how that's why it was so positive, and it was so huge, because that made the share price go up. So anyway, just to recap on AMD went up for the week, as you can see by this chart, up and up and up. All the news stories have now magically turned positive, the majority of them anyway. Generally in the world, we're looking at, I would say, maybe 60-70% negative, and the rest positive. So I've been trying to balance this out, what percentage. So about 60-70% negative, because North Korea situation, and there was this one as well, billions of dollars move out of the US as some investors flee the beleaguered Trump trade. So yeah, those are two issues, and they are affecting the markets right now. So we've seen, like, over the past, I think, month, 2 months, where the hype has died down around the Trump trade, and there have been some good indicators that he can get things done. I mean, before there was the healthcare bill where they thought he can't get anything done, and now he's got that back on track to some extent. So there is some idea that he can get things done, and it's looking a little bit more positive. But it's not. I mean, that the hype that we initially had, that's not there anymore. Now, moving on to AMD's, the big money, what's the big money saying for AMD? I just did a quick calculation. So overall, so this shows you institutional buying, selling by quarter for Nasdaq, AMD, and then we have this last quarter. So these are the big guys. They're buying into AMD stock. I did a quick calculation. So if you look at net, so if you take 855 million, take away 623, you're left with 232 million. So that's net. You can see last year, Q1 is a huge difference between last year Q1, and then you got Q4, which is meant to be the best month, pretty much. It gives you the full years, pretty much accounts as well, and it's higher than that as well. So if you looked at that, this is maybe, you're looking at 70 million difference. So net 70 million more shares were bought, but now you have 232 million shares more were bought. So I think the big boys, the big money's got confidence in AMD, and they're showing it by putting their money where the mouth is, and that's a good thing. What else is there? So we've gone over that. Another thing was, I was listening to the Nvidia earnings call, and the reason why I listened to that is to try and see, because Nvidia is doing new things, and they can actually, the new things that they are doing can show AMD the way. So if they try something new and it's making money, AMD can see that and say, oh yeah, we can see you're making money there, so maybe we'll offer something that's lower price, right, in that segment, and we'll get a piece of the pie. So it's a good indicator. It shows you how things may progress in the future. So Nvidia basically tripled their data center revenue, tripled over a year, so that's 300%. nearly 300%. Now, the key point that I want to mention is I was listening to the CEO's answer to a question. So somebody asked, I don't know who it was, but they asked, how do you see your competitiveness in the overall landscape of the market, keeping in mind that Google's bringing out, I think they've got a GPU that is really fast. I think it's twice as fast as Pascal, because it was meant to be four times faster than anything Nvidia had. But then they kind of explained that, the CEO explained that, look, they were comparing it to an older GPU. So really, it's only twice as fast, but still it's faster, right? So, but that is for a specific task. And, he was asking, well, considering Google has that, and then your other competitors. So I'm thinking he's referring to AMD bringing out their Naples as well. But the answer was very, very telling and very informative, where the CEO said, look, people, dump everything into one category. So they'll say, data center, and they'll, everyone will think, well, that's just one segment and that's it. No, there's many segments within that. So you'll have some, some capability that they need, which is low level, where, it's just data retrieval. So you'll have, something like if you did a Google search and it just goes into a database and finds something and brings that back, that's low level. You don't need any super powerful GPUs for that, and then there's other things like inferencing. So inferencing would be like you showed an image of, two. I think it was actually two videos. So of one was of a car, and both of them were of a car, but one was kind of fuzzy and one wasn't quite, kind of fuzzy, and it was in real time what the AI was doing. It was looking at the picture and then making a determination as to how it should look, and then it was filling in the gaps, so to speak, and it made the picture look perfect. There was no stagnation, there was no static, there was nothing. And that's what he was talking about. He said the future will be all AI driven, everything will be AI driven, and then AI will decide, okay, this thing should look like this, and then so you won't have any gaps. There'll be no disruption. So you'll have a live stream, and if there's any issues with that live stream, the AI will pick up on that, and it'll fix it. It'll patch the holes and give you a perfect experience, that kind of thing. And he was saying that Nvidia is really set up for that. That's what they've been concentrating on. That's what they want to do, right? So that's their core thing. That's where they want to be making good money out of it. And the autonomous driving thing is not huge. They're not making huge money out of that anyway. So that's what he's talking about, basically on data center side. But for AMD, it made me think, well, okay, AMD is going to launch Naples, and Naples is a CPU, not a GPU. So again, it can slot right in there. If it's just simple tasks, or if it's something that where you need to run really advanced algorithms or something like that, where it does need more computing power, but then it has unique features. So Naples, one of the things is based on Ryzen. So Ryzen, what it can do is it can take all the memory in a system and use that as a cache, the entire memory. So if you think about that could give it a huge edge in some unique applications, right? I don't know what those applications will be, but just knowing that they will have some unique edge in some applications means that they will get some slice of the pie, within the data center. And the other thing was that Lisa Su, the CEO of AMD, did say that a lot of the margins, they're going to see a lot of the margins coming from the Naples server CPU, because a lot of people thought it's going to come from Ryzen, the desktop CPU, but that's not what she said. She said it's going to be coming from the server CPU. So if that's true, we're looking at towards the end of the year, maybe early 2018, and then from there you can see that maybe we're going to have a good, because she wouldn't say that unless we're going to have a decent amount of impact on the data center side, and that makes good sense. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I thought it's a good thing to put out there. The other thing was Nvidia was saying that everyone's using their platform right now for the you've got the US Air Force and Army and all the rest of them. They do simulation trainings and they're using Nvidia GPUs and so on and so forth. And even Wall Street is using, for all the trading, they're using huge supercomputers for high frequency trading and everything else. So they really need really powerful systems. So again I'm thinking in all these segments, Naples server CPU hasn't really been, it hasn't been launched yet, but it might have a unique impact because of that cache thing that it has, because it can use so much to buffer. So for example, let's say we had a stock market crash, and because of the enormous amount of memory Naples server CPU can use as a cache, it may have a copy of huge amounts of trades already stored in its cache, which can be accessed maybe. Yeah, so there's unique aspects to it that I thought that AMD has an edge. So so it's looking good. I think again by the end of the year, I was talking to someone else this morning about thinking about long term instead of short term. In the short term, everyone was saying the stock could go up to maybe 13 to 14 and then come back down again. But I was thinking, I have this idea in my mind that I think it'll go to $17 to $20, $17 to $20 over the longer term. I just think people need to see the results, and they haven't seen them so far, not as much, because obviously you couldn't expect results within a month of launching Ryzen, and you haven't even launched the rest of your products yet. So there's all of that going on, and we'll see how it goes. But that's what I'm thinking, and again, I'm thinking about longing it, staying in it for until the end of the year, because $17 to $20 looks a lot better. But the other part of me is saying, well, look, if it does have a pullback, you could get back in, so get out maybe 13, 14, maybe $15, and then come back in, and then buy again, and then you make even more money. So it is tempting to do it both ways, but in the end, I think it just goes up to 17 to 20 at the bare minimum. If you look at what they were doing in 2006, and it was at $43, and then you look at what they're doing now, even if Ryzen doesn't, the desktop CPU doesn't beat everyone, which it hasn't done, right? It has in many aspects, but it hasn't done on gaming in some aspects. So even if it doesn't do that, the combined, revenue from the desktop CPU, the server CPU, the GPU, the APU, all of that stuff should put it on par with 2006, if not higher, right? That's the way I'm thinking of it. So minimum on par with 2006 or higher. So that should reflect in the price. So minimum, I'm saying 17 to 20. I'm being conservative. So if it's on par with 2006, it would be at 40, 43. But again, I'm being conservative and saying, okay, let's halve that. Let's say 20, and then be even more conservative and say 17 at the bare minimum. So it makes good sense. I did a few other calculations before in other videos where I looked at it. I looked at the amount it went up. I think over 10 months it went up by huge, from $8 to $43. So it's still possible, but I think everything will have to play a part in it. The market does. I don't know if it's going to go down in the coming months, or as a whole, it may go down in the coming months, or it may go back up. We don't know which way it'll go. What's going to be happening? That's the wider world, can't control that. But as for the company looks okay, looks fine. I think next earnings will be positive, and they'll beat, because if you think about what they've said, they've kind of dulled people's expectations now, and the hype is gone, the momentum trade is gone, all of that is gone. So next earnings, the expectations are super low. So if it does come through, bang, we're back up. And that's what I think. But by the end of the year, definitely, you'll have all the numbers. You'll see what's going on, how they're progressing, what they're doing, and I think overall it'll be positive. and overall people will be confident in investing with AMD. And as long as the big guys keep coming in, and they are doing, the hedge funds and so on. I read I think twice last week where they came in and bought a good chunk. So they're gonna, the stock price should go up by them. So anyway, guys, that was a quick update. Again, sorry for the late video. I hope you found it informative. If you want to listen to the earnings call, I just go to Nvidia. Just listen to Nvidia's. I think it's very informative. Just go to Nvidia, or is it Investor Relations? Just put that in Google. You'll get to the Nvidia page, and then go to events and past events, and it'll be on there. It'll be the webcast, and you just click on it and put in your details, and it allows you to listen to it, and you'll see what he says, and it's very, very telling if you really pay close attention to it. Now, he did say, there was one thing that he did say. Somebody asked, what do you see? They were referring to AMD anyway. They were saying, what do you see about the GPU competitive landscape? And he said, well, I don't expect it to change. So basically, he thinks they'll be okay. They'll be on top because they are launching Volta, I think, at the end of the year. I'm not sure if that's the GPU side or if it's something else, but still, that's what he expects. But obviously, I mean, AMD is not going to be sitting still. They're going to be developing as well. They're going to bring out more products. And again, you could make the same argument for Nvidia. We don't know what they have in the pipeline really, and what's known and what is unknown. So we don't know all of that. I mean, there's with AMD, I think I read somewhere in June, by the end of June, they're gonna launch a CPU called Whitehaven as well, which is like, I don't know what, 12 cores or something like that. Again, data center kind of stuff. I'm trying to find it on my thing here. I can find it. Yeah, there you go. AMD Ryzen 16 core triple CPU and a Whitehaven platform to launch on monstrous 4094 pin socket in June. So yes, they're talking about that. So yeah, that's new. Didn't know about that. There's all these hidden things, and keep your eyes open for Vega. Also, there's the other secret CPU that I talked about before. That the custom SoC that they working on, and we don't know who that is for. And then all the partnerships and all the new OEMs that are going to be launching AMD products in their, putting their CPUs or GPUs in their products, and that's going to be coming out as well towards the end of the year. So there are quite a lot of surprises in there. So potential upside is pretty good. So I'm staying in it, guys. I'm going long and strong. You can see from the monthly chart where we're at. So dead and dead and dead. I found it really interesting how the stories changed. So here it was, we're doomed, we're dying, and then eventually it went, maybe it's time to buy, and then it's, we're okay now, we're going back up, we're recovering, It's just crazy. Nobody's consistent. It's like everyone jumps on the bandwagon, and then every time, whichever direction it's going. So anyway, that's my weekly update done, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck to all of you. If you're in it, stay long, stay strong. If you're not in it, maybe it's an opportunity to buy right now. I would say don't put all of your money in it, like I have done. Put a portion of it and see how it goes for you. But for me, I'm in it, so I'm staying in it. I don't need the money. I'm alright. I've managed to make another income stream for myself. I always find a way anyway. So I'm alright, and I'll see you hopefully next week. So anyway, take care, guys. Danny out.